Louis C. Gross II, educational consultant for Manhood Shelter Incorporated. And today we have a young man from Olive Harvey who graduated and is going to tell his story. His name is Terrell Anderson. Nice to have you, Terrell.
Thank you, sir.
Before we get to that, let me give you where we at. Here's the overhead. This is where we can be reached at. As you can see. First, the book of the week, The Spook Who Sat by the Door by Sam Greenleaf. It has dual connotations. In other words, the spook. You know, back in the day, they used to call black people spooks. But also, in the intelligence world, you know, like the CIA, spooks are agents. You know, CIA agents. So see, it was about a young man who was a black man who the CIA had to have somebody to sit in of color to show that they wasn't racist. You know, and institutional racism. So the book is very good. You should read it. Sam Greenleaf wrote it some years ago. But basically, it tells about a power structure. It goes like this here. Once a minority reaches a majority, it hates a minority. What does that mean? We're talking about racism. Once you get in power, now you see somebody trying to usurp your power. You don't like them. They're the minority. You're the majority. So what you trying to do? Keep them down by any means necessary. Does that sound familiar? Machiavelli wrote The Prince, and then Malcolm X, coined the phrase "by any means necessary." So that's where it comes from. Machiavelli wrote The Prince some years ago, which is a very popular book at the time. And what it really talks about is deception and deceit, and how politicians work in terms of saying one thing but meaning another, being vague. Also, I want to do something else too. I want to talk about our communities, and then we will get to Mr. Anderson. Our communities are being ran by aldermen who make $117,000 a year, plus about $1 million expense account to take care of their ward. Why not? Why did it happen? And I want you from now on to call in and let it be known what's going on in your ward. And are you getting representation? Remember, taxation without representation? Years ago. And it's still happening now. You call your alderman, to say, hey, look here, you want to talk to him, you can't get a hold of him. You get a hold of a scheduler, then you want them to call you back. They don't even deal with that. That's not business. We're paying you to represent us. By the way, I want to show you something. This is the Inspector General's office. Inspector General. That's the phone number. So if you have any complaints, that's who you get in touch with. Okay? We have to have representation. We have to have somebody that's backing us to deal with our situations. Okay. End of that. Back to you. Now, Mr. Anderson.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us something about yourself?
Well, me, I'm actually into the performing arts. I like to sing. I like to rap, do poetry, dance. I'm also into culinary arts. I like to actually be productive with my time, and I also like to give back to my communities that I'm involved in. I've been involved in the Kenwood Oakland Community Organization.
Kenwood Oakland?
Yes, sir. So I've been involved with and doing a lot of community projects. I've just actually I'm actually in the Neighborhood Youth Corps Summer Program. This program works with Chicago police officers, and we it's like a mentoring program. So with the mentorship, they bring in a lot of people from all across Chicago, bringing in job opportunities, bringing in a lot of, it's a 15 through 18-year-old program, so that way, all of those youth are able to get involved with the community and go outside of just, the hood or the block and everything like that, and giving out fair opportunity for youth. So that way, and also builds a relationship with.
Well, how did you get involved with that? Who recommended you? Who referred you?
My mom used to work for CHA. So
okay, Chicago Housing Authority.
Yes, sir. And then, with that program, I was allowed to, get that employment through my mom. She recommended me the program, so that way, I won't just be at home just eating up all the food.
And watch. What is it? Young people like to watch the videos and also the internet.
Yeah.
You know, this internet thing, man. You know, it's getting people killed too. What do you think about the internet?
Internet, man, it's a tool, and I think a lot of us don't understand that it is a tool. You know, the internet was made. You know, we live in the universal, like we live in the technology information age, and I think the fact of the matter is that we're not educating ourselves anymore, and also the misunderstanding of what education really is. You see, we chase it, but we don't really know exactly what it is.
Why don't you expound on that for us? I want you to listen to this, especially adults, parents, and maybe some of this information being disseminated can filter into your child, which is your responsibility, not ours. Okay, go ahead.
All right, so there was a man who actually came up to our program. His name, he was Ricky Clayton. Not Ricky Clayton, Mr. Clayton, actually. And he was
Mr. Clayton. I think I know Mr. Clayton from form.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he informed us about the meaning of education. Is to really bring about the inner potential that we have.
To induce, to bring out?
Exactly. Okay. He broke the word down, and he showed us exactly what it means for us to actually chase an education. A lot of us say, oh, we want an education, or we're getting an education, but we don't really know what it is that's supposed to be out there. So, teachers are there to show us and give us the tools to bring out this inner potential that God gave us, that we're supposed to be implementing into the world. And a lot of us just don't really know what is inside of us that is trying to be brought out.
And so tell me something. What about parents? What's their role in dealing with you in terms of training, to prepare you? Expound on that.
For the parents, I mean, me not being a parent myself, of course, I can't really, diss what the parents are doing, because, the parents' best effort has to count for whatever it is the child goes through. But at the same time, that doesn't give the excuse for the parent not to be around and being involved, or to give their 100%, because we take in everything as being raised by our parents. Right. We are our parents' prodigies, and I'm pretty sure, as of all parents, they want us to do, if not better than them, to surpass them, and to be able to set that legacy as if this is my child, this is me.
Do you really see that not only with yourself but with your peers? And how is a parent that doesn't do what they're supposed to do, how does that affect the student? Well, from your observation.
Absolutely. I see a lot of my peers struggling a lot in school. Be it that fathers are missing in their lives, or mothers, have to try to raise this single parent home and everything like that. And
so it's just a lot of a lot of grandmothers and mothers raising their children.
Absolutely.
And so the grandmother will be raising her children's children.
That too.
So that affects the family structure.
Yes, it does.
In what way?
It distracts the learning environment. No longer is the education pursued, or, it's just, oh, I gotta work, I gotta survive, I gotta hustle, I gotta struggle, it's hard for me, and you ain't nothing but like 15, 16, 17, you ain't even really got a taste of the real world yet.
Right.
So, the struggle is already being presented, and, you ain't even really opened doors to life yet,
it used to be a saying, it takes a village to raise a child. Do you think that village is scared of that child now?
I think the village no longer really has the potential to raise that child anymore. I think that structure has really been lost. I think the village is now a hellhole. I think that the village is now burning. It's suffering right now for something that it may be lacking. It has no structure anymore with the family that should be there, that should be implemented into this village. We have the child trying to raise itself. We have the leaders of
basically homeless too, right?
Absolutely. So many homeless children out here in Chicago. You never really know who they are either. They're anonymous in our society. So they figure that they should be trying to raise themselves, that, they should be out here trying to hustle for themselves,
So when we talk about hustling, what are we talking about? Are we talking about drugs? Are we talking about looting? What are we talking about here? From what you see?
By any means necessary.
That's really Malcolm X used that, and it goes back to The Prince, that was written by Machiavelli.
Exactly.
Years ago.
And it's still...
And that same statement resonates today.
It does.
It's a shame that, what happened, you know what they say? The more things change, the more they remain the same. We got a caller. Question, a comment, caller. Go ahead.
Good evening. Gentlemen, you guys is tripping to that myth. And it does not take a village to raise a child. That child needs to have at least one competent parent in their life. And if the parent needs to put that child in a situation, in an arena, and provide resources, that's what a child needs. You keep on waiting for that village to show up. Guess what? That village is not there. What do you do if the village is full of idiots?
Well, the young man just said that the village is no longer there. You didn't hear that part.
If you can keep on using that old tired cliche of saying it takes a village to raise.
So what do you think it takes? What do you think it takes, Joe?
I just got through saying at least one competent parent.
Okay.
And a lot of times you cannot even let your child run around in the village. A lot of times because of different activities, you got to wind up taking your child maybe a lot of times outside of the community to do certain things. You can't even depend on a lot of times sending your child to the neighborhood school. Sometimes you have to wind up, sometimes they want the worst thing a parent could do is send their child to the same school everybody else send their child to, because what wind up happening, the same problem happening in the neighborhood, guess what? It's going right up there into the school.
Thank you very much for your comment. What is your take on what the gentleman said?
You know, that's a very intelligent comment to make. You know, I also agree. You know, the fact that, you know, the village and the child, you know, sometimes the child has to really, you know, recognize, you know, it's really just bringing about that knowledge of where am I? Am I building my own village? Where's my structure? You know, and right, that one competent person doesn't even have to be parents, because sometimes even our parents aren't even competent in this day and age.
Would you say it again?
You know,
by the parent not incompetent.
Hey, sometimes. You know,
would you say a lot of the young people you deal with in school, are their parents really supportive? I know for a fact that we have parent conference meetings. You know, parents don't show up. What's that about?
Man, it's you know, I mean, hey, sometimes it's like, hey, I gotta work, or you know, I don't really want to feel like coming up to the school. You know, it's really more the individual. You know, how much the parent is even willing to invest in their child's future, and you know, sometimes it's not even an investment anymore.
And I want you to explain to the audience, how does it make you feel? A report card pickup day and your parent doesn't show up. Not to say that yours didn't, but I'm just saying a lot of our children. How do they feel?
You know,
Can you put yourself in their shoes, being empathetic?
Yeah, you know, I see a lot of students that like to stay behind in school and actually volunteer to organize some of the events and actually clean up around, you know, get it straight up, you know, fix the tables and bring the food out and prepare it and be like, yeah, you know, I'm pretty sure I got some good grades, you know, yeah. You
but they're pretty sure, but they basically know. Because if you roam in the hallway, you missing class. You know, each day is about instruction. They have so many instructional hours, and minutes, or you said. And then when you find a kid in the hallway, what's that about?
When
evading work?
Yeah, I mean, you got the ones that's lingering in the hallway. You know, they do that. You know, they figure that the hallway is where they learn the best rather than in the classroom.
That's like the streets then, right?
Basically, you know, it's just really, you try to compare it, and it's like, you know, oh, well, you know, I'm in the classroom. That's where the lames go. You know, it's not.
The lames.
Yeah.
Trying to get education, and you call them lames?
Exactly.
Jesus.
You know, I was actually in one of the lines. I was writing my poetry. You know, it was saying something about, you know, I was saying something about the lames and stuff like that. You know, I was saying how, you know.
Tell you what, say it. I was saying, young people, young man is very creative. Go ahead, enlighten the audience.
So. It was basically saying, you know, we fought for the front of the bus, but we sitting in the back because the front for the lames. And it's like, wow, we fought for the front, but it's now lame to be in the front because it's chill to be in the back, because that's where we can play, because that's where we can act up, because that's where we can be everything that everybody wants us to be, but not really. And it's like, wow, we really want to try to be ourselves, and we really want to try to, you know, forget about the systematic of things. You know, we're not really abiding by the process. It's exactly. And, you know, we would rather do what we want to do. You know, we think that we grown. We think that we can handle our own. We think that
the word called listening. We don't listen, do we?
You know, we got 2 ears and 1 mouth. If we listen twice as much as we talk, right, you know, everything like that. You know?
They always say some people have something to say, and some people want to say something.
That's true.
You know, so it's like an empty wagon rattling. Empty wagon rattling. But in other words, there's no substance.
Absolutely.
And you know, tell us about your journey to where you're at now.
Well, for me, I guess it's been like, Man, it's been tough, honestly, and even with the positive vibes that I've been giving off for people and everything like that, I gotta say it's even then with this has just been a struggle. Coming into high school, I graduated valedictorian of my 8th grade graduating class at Urban C. Mollison Elementary.
Mollison, right?
Yeah.
Where's that located?
That is 44th and King Drive.
Okay.
And coming out of that school, I figured, I had a hard head. I was like, yeah, I graduated the best, so yeah, I got, I ain't got nothing to worry about. Let's go. I was ready. So I got accepted to King College Prep. That's over there on 44th and Drexel.
Okay.
So I'm over there, and this is a selective enrollment high school. Had to test to really get a good score in order to even get a chance to go in. So they saw potential in me to be one of their Jaguars.
Who saw potential?
Now, this is the funny part. The previous principal, Mr. Wright, actually saw potential in me. And
hold that thought for a moment.
Yes, sir.
Caller, we have a caller. We want everybody to participate. So, what's your question or concern, caller? You on the air?
One of the problems in terms of how the system is messed up, there's like an encouragement where they want your child to be behind in school. Are you familiar with what is called, what some people refer to as the crazy check?
Go ahead, expound on that briefly.
Elaborate on it. When your child is so far behind in school, it's classified as a learning disability, and they can wind up getting a check because your child is so far behind, and you got a lot of parents, they want that money. And that's when those IEPs come into effect, and they don't want their child to get better. Instead of putting that child maybe in summer school or maybe getting some additional help, no, they want them to stay so far behind in school when they cannot catch up. When they get that, I think it's something like $500 or more a month, they want the money. And maybe some of these teachers called in and they elaborate on because they want the money. If you got one child, okay, that's $500 a month. Imagine if you got 2 children, that's $1,000 a month for your child to be behind in school.
Thank you very much. But I also know that they have what you call an achievement academy. If a child is about 15 or 16 coming out of 8th grade, not smart enough to go into high school, so they put them like in suspended animation. In other words, they put them in the Achievement Academy to build them up to be able to go to high school because they're too old for grammar school. Now, we have another caller. Question or comment? Go ahead, you're on the air.
Yes, good afternoon, gentlemen. How y'all guys?
Hey, how you doing?
All right, sir.
Good show. You always have a good show, partner.
Thank you.
I missed a little thought about it. But listen, I heard the young gentleman say things about, like when you were saying the bus, the lanes ride.
Yeah, isn't that something?
They're supposed to ride in the back. There's nothing wrong with that, man. I mean, we did that. I mean, my people did it. It's been a thing down the road that did that. But the most important thing, what young people have forgot today is called respect. See, you do not, and I'm not speaking of you personally, but young people do not respect other people. I mean, you say words now in front of women and older people now. I couldn't imagine me ever saying anything like that. It's something that you say, when you're around your group and little things like that. But now it's that young people don't have respect. If that could ever come back into the system, it might be a little bit better world to live in. You cannot go around world treating people as you think you want to be treated.
Right.
Because sooner or later, it's a contagious thing. Then other people are going to start treating you very harmful. And then next thing you know, that's where bang, bang, bang comes in. But again, it's respect. If you ever get a chance, learn how to respect other people and respect the females. Listen, like I say, partner, you always have good shows. Good shows.
Thank you very much.
Real quick, give us a thought that we can have for next week. And let me get out there so I can hear your response. Thanks for taking the call.
Yes. What do you think with the man said?
R-E-S-P-E-C-T. The problem is that we don't have it for ourselves. We have to respect ourselves first in order to give it So a lot of problems that come from within us really come from within us. A lot of our personal problems we take with us to the workforce, we take with us to school, and we don't really know how to deal with those situations because that's not being taught at home. You know, how to just let it go.
You know the point. Not being taught at home. So in other words, what you do privately manifests itself publicly.
Okay.
In other words, if you're not home trained in the house, when you step over that threshold out into the public, it shows in terms of your behavior.
Absolutely.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So have you ever gotten the altercations about another person's behavior and they didn't like yours because you're doing the proper things and they call you a lame, perhaps?
I've actually rolled with the term lame all the way until I graduated as of recently. Okay. You know, that has been my status as far as I live.
Tell us about your graduation. Hey, give him a hand, you all. He graduated, okay, from Olive Harvey.
Olive Harvey Middle College. Middle college.
Explain that.
So my graduating class was not the easiest class to deal with, obviously. You know, it was a deep struggle with graduation being canceled, almost threatened to get canceled many times.
Really? Why?
You know, just the conduct, you know, the lack of respect that the teachers, you know, the lack of respect for the teachers, for the people that are actually trying to graduate us out of that system. And, you know, a lot of them are really blessed to have made it across that stage because a lot of their chances have just been taken away. You know, there was one guy who actually didn't even get a chance to walk across the stage, but he got his diploma. You know, but he just...
His behavior was that terrible that he couldn't even walk across the stage. You know, that's a shame. And if you're a parent, I want you to listen to this young man. It's your responsibility to make sure that child conducts himself in an orderly manner. Don't come up to school talking about he didn't do it and you know he did, because the track record shows that. You know, a lot of times I see kids coming to school to be babysitted. You know, and you're looking for a role model. Role model started at the house. Now on the corner begging and selling dope. Go ahead.
And, you know, it's just like graduating up out of there. It shows that, you know, the school itself, the system, it's a small school. You know, it's not that many students there. So the it's more of a family rather than an educational institute.
Which is a good environment?
Exactly. For as far as the staff, you know, the staff loves and cares for it.
I know, I've seen it.
Absolutely. And it's just geared towards actually more than just educating, but really bringing out the meaning of true education, bringing out the talents within us, bringing out the skills within us, bringing out the passion that can allow us to get into the workforce, to go to college and succeed and actually graduate without the debt and with that help of those teachers that are able to provide those connects.
So you graduated in June.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Now tell me, what are your plans?
My plans, I actually plan on going to Kennedy King College. There is a program that, a training program for culinary arts.
Oh yeah, let me tell you, I had some college, we did some college tours, and that culinary system is magnificent. They have a little restaurant.
Yeah.
Go ahead, you can talk about it.
It's just so amazing to be able, because I grew up around culinary all my life. My mom, she didn't graduate from, but she actually attended Le Cordon Bleu. And, you know, my dad.
That's from Kennedy King.
Yeah.
Cordon Bleu, yeah.
And it's like, my dad, he was heavily involved. You know, he learned a lot from my mom as well as his mom. So, you know, the culture of cooking, you know, I come from a family where we eat good. You know, it's just like, you know, why not take that and do my own thing with it? So, you know, I plan on actually studying culinary arts. I'm also planning on expanding my career in dance and performing arts. And actually just
you dance too, huh?
Yeah, I'm also a dancer. I take hip hop, jazz. I'm actually getting into ballet, contemporary, Egyptian, African, Afrocentric Caribbean.
Egyptian? What about Egyptians?
So
that's the first time I ever heard of that one.
So, you know, like Egyptian dances, that's really just mimicking the style of dance of Egyptians back when they were actually learning, you know, just like the ancient Kemetic, translation of bodily movements. So, you know, a lot of those will be geared towards like really like towards tutting. King Tut was practicing, you know, translating. They had it on the they had it on really. It was like really just geared towards the style of dance, and you know.
We out of time, but I want to thank you for coming on, Terrell.
No problem.
And I'm really proud of you because you put in a couple of my little classes. And I want to leave with this thought. The function of education is to teach one to think intensely and to think critically. Dr. Martin Luther King said that. And remember, as always, if you feel as though you run out of rope, tie a knot and hang on. Everything is going to be okay. I can assure you. Just stay focused. And thank you, young man.
No problem, sir.
Very much.